Hi friends, welcome to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. Ashish here, and today I'll be covering a Sudoku variant called Equalizer Sudoku. Now this Sudoku is constructed by Richard Stolk, and I really thank the author for giving me an opportunity to cover a video on our channel. So this Sudoku is taken from the SVS Sudoku Variant Series that is run by Richard Stolk, where he posts a new variant every week, right? So once in every week he posts a new variant, and this is one of the Sudokus from the SVS series, Sudoku Variant Series, that is posted on LMD. So I would highly recommend you to check out the LMD page, and if you really are looking forward to some new variants that you haven't seen before, please check the SVS series. You will get to see a lot of new variants there. So before going to the puzzle, I would highly recommend you to please subscribe to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles if you haven't done so. It will really motivate us to cover videos on daily basis. And if at all you have a request for any Sudoku variant or a puzzle genre, do let us know in the comment below and we will surely make a video on it. And now coming back to this Sudoku, so classic Sudoku rules apply. You need to place digits from 1 to 9 in each row, each column, and 3 into 3 box without repetition. Apart from that, you have some shaded cells in each column, right? Starting from the bottom. It's kind of like a equalizer, right? The theme seems to be like an equalizer. So the constraint says that the highest equalizer, the highest bar, that is this and this, will always be greater than the one lower than it, will always be greater than the one lower than it, and it goes on. And if there are two bars of the equal size, then both of the sums will have to be equal. So the sum of all the cells, so I mean is, if you take the highest bar, sum of all the cells will always be higher than the one bar that is lower than it, and again it goes on continuing, right? So the sum of these cells will be greater than some of these cells will be greater than some of these, and it goes on. So which means, see, highest bar will have the highest sum and it goes on decreasing with the lowest bar, and if there are two same bars of the same height, then the sums will have to be same, right? So with that we should be able to start solving this Sudoku. The one trick that I see in this Sudoku is, one thing that you have to look for is, never go and look for the highest bar at the start. You won't find anything. How will you find the sum? Will it be 42? It will be 40. It will be 38, 35, anything. Never go with the highest bar. Always go with the lowest one, or always go with the opposite side of the highest bar. That is, if this is the highest bar, if the sum of these two bars will always be equal, then the sum of these two cells will always be equal. So always go with the lowest bar, or if you don't get anything from that, always go with the opposite side of the highest bar. That will surely give you something, right? So I can see here is, sum of these two cells and sum of these two cells will be equal, which means the maximum sum of these two cells can be 10. It cannot be 11 because you need a 10 here if it is 11. So the maximum digit you can have is 9. So sum of these two cells would be 10. So sum of these two cells will also be 10 minimum, I would say. It can, I mean to say maximum, it can be less than 10. So for, you cannot have 1, you cannot have 2, you cannot have 4, so you cannot have a 5 because then it will go with 11. 11 is not possible here. So the only digit possible here is 3, which means it would have to be 8 here, because some of these two cells are equal and some of these two cells are equal. So if this is a 3, 3 plus 6 is 9, so 8, 8 plus 1 is 9. So now you don't even have to look at these cells. It's done. Even if I unmark these cells, right, even if I don't have the white color here, even if I change the color and do it white, it won't affect me because I know that these columns are done now, right? Okay, that's the only way to solve this Sudoku. Always look with the lower bar or the opposite of the highest bar, right? And 8 would have to be in one of these two cells, 1 would have to be here. So let's go with the ones first. 8 is here. Yeah, 1. I don't think so. Classic is giving much. 3 would have to be here. 2 would have to be here. 2 would have to be here as well. And 8 would have to be here. 2, 4, 5 and 9. This cannot be 2. This cannot be 9. This cannot be 4 as well. Okay. Now let us see, can this cell be an 8? That's an excellent piece of logic again. If this cell is an 8, you need to have some of these two cells greater than 8, that is 9 a minimum. You cannot have 9. You cannot have anything more than 8 actually. Because for having more than 8, you will need to have at least 7, 8 or 9 here. More than 8 means you will have to have 8 or 9 here, and both 8 and 9 are used here. So this cell cannot be an 8. This cell would have to be an 8. That gives you an 8 here. That gives you 8 in one of these two cells, right? We are done with the 8s now. This cell cannot be 3 as well, because if this cell is a 3, so some of these two cells are 4, you need something lesser than 4 here. Because if some of these two cells are 4, then the one cell would have to be lesser than that. And both, all the 3, 1, 2, 3 are used here, so you cannot have a 3 here. This cell would have to be a 3, this is a 2 here. This cell is a 6 here, so this cell would have to be a 6 here. 4, 5 and 7, so this cell cannot be a 4. Now you have a 5 and 7 here. So what are the possible digits here? 1, 2, 3. You can have 4. 4 is not possible. 5 and 7 here. Oh, only 5 and 7 here. So if you have a 7 here, you will need to have a 7 here. If you have a 5 here, you can have anything, 5 or 7. Okay, not looking for it now. Okay, 4 would have to be in one of these two cells. So this cell is a 4, that gives you a 4 in this cell, right? Okay, we know that some of these 4 cells and some of these 4 cells would have to be equal. Not sure of it. 1, 5 and 6 to be here. Sum of these 3 cells is 9 plus 4 plus 7 is 20. So minimum sum you can have is 21 here if you have a 1 here, which means you need to have at least 21 in these 4 cells. The sum of these 4 cells would have to be at least 21, right? According to what the logic or constraint that we are using here, which means you already have 11 here. At least 10 is required in some of these 2 cells, right? At least 10, which means 8 is used, 7 is used, 6 is used, which means 9 would have to be in one of these 2 cells. If you don't have a 9 here, the next maximum 2 digits are 5 and 3, so that is 8, and you don't get a sum of 10 at least here, which means 9 would have to be in one of these 2 cells. That gives you an excellent piece of logic here. Now you know that 9 would have to be in one of these 2 cells, right? So 947 is already done here. So whatever you have here, that same digit would have to be in one of these 4 cells, right? So that means these 4 digits and these 4 digits are same. That we have already deduced it now, because we know that 9 would have to be in one of these 3 cells, these 2 cells. So you already have 947, and whatever you have with the 4th digit here, that would have to be here. So which means 6 cannot be here, because you already have 6 in that column, right? And if you have a 5 here, that is good, guys. That is awesome, because I didn't see this way. This is amazing. I cannot say how happy I am. If you have a 5 here, you need to have 5 in one of these 4 cells, because we deduced that 4 cells are same, these 4 cells. So if you have a 5 here, where can you have a 5 in these 4 cells? Wow, this is a 9 here, guys. That is a 9 here, and that removes 9 from these 2 cells. So which means this cell cannot be a 6. If you have a 1 and 5 here, this cell also would have to be 1 and 5. Excellent. Mind blowing, guys. Mind blowing. 1, 5, 6 and 7. Okay? Yeah. So we don't have to look for these cells now, because we know that these 2 cells are equal, right? 9 would have to be in one of these two cells, 4 would have to be in one of these three cells, 5 cannot be anywhere, 6 is in one of these two cells, 7 can be anywhere, 8 is there, 9 is here. Okay, these two cells are 2, these three cells are 2, three in one of these two cells, 6 plus at least 4 is there, 10, 5 or 7, 15 or 17, 15 or 17, right? Can you have 8 here? 4 plus 6 is 10, 4 is for sure in these two cells, plus 6 is 10. If you even take 15, if you have an 8 here, that is 23. You have 4 here, some of these two cells would have to be 19, not at all possible. Some of these two cells cannot be 19, so 8 cannot be here, this cell is an 8, this cell is an 2 here. That gives you an 8 here. So you cannot have 9 here, you cannot have 8, 7, 3, 2, 7, 4, 1, 5 and 6. 6 is not possible, 1 and 5 is possible. This cell would have to be a 9, which means 9 would have to be in one of these two cells. One, 2, 5, 3. 3, this is 1, 2 and 5. 1, 2, 3 and 5. 1, 2, 3 and 5. Okay. This is 5 and 7. 1 cannot be here, 1 cannot be here. This cell is a 1 now. That eliminates 1 from these cells. This cell is a 1. Oh, if you have a 1 here, you will need to have 1 here also. Same 4 digits, right? Excellent. You need to have same 4 digits. This one will eliminate 1 from these two cells. 2, 5. 2 is gone. Oh, I removed the 2, 5 as well. 2, 5, 6, 3, 8. 1, 4, 7 and 9. 1 is here, 4, 7 and 9, 9, 1, 4 and 7, 9, 1, 4 and 7, so 4, 7, this is 9, this cell would have to be a 1, this cell would have to be a 9. I can directly write that this would have to be 3 using the uniqueness trap here, because that is not even affecting the constraint rule, or else you have to be very careful when using a uniqueness trap in a variant Sudoku. You have to look if the constraint is being affected or not. That is the most important thing while using a uniqueness trap logic. Okay, so 5, 6, 7 and 3. Okay, 5 also cannot be here, 3 and 6. 1 cannot be here, 5 and 7. 2, 3, 5 and 7, 2, 3, 5 and 7. Okay. Okay, 2, 3 and 5. So you get a 2, 3, 5 triplet here. Oh, this cannot be a 9. So 4, 6 and 7. Here 1 plus 6, 7 plus 4 is 11. So it is 16 or 18. You already have 1 and 3 used. So 4, that is 4 used. So you need to have 12 or 14. Some of these two cells will either have to be 12 or 14. So 4 cannot be here because you will need 12. Oh, 4, yeah, 14 is possible, right? Oh, 14 is also not possible. If you have 4 here, neither 12 is possible because you need 8, and neither 14 is possible because you will need 10. So 4 is not possible here. Is 6 possible? If you have a 6 here, you will need either a 6 here for 12 or 8 here for 14. 6 is also not possible. So which means there is only one place for 6 here, that is this place. So if you have a 9 here, 12 would have to be 3, 14 would have to be 5. And 2 more digits, that is 5 and 7. For 12 it is 5 and 7, or 14 it is, okay. So you have 5, 7, 9 here. Come on. Oh, 4 cannot be here. The moment I eliminated a 4 here, 4 is in pointing in this box, right? So 4 cannot be here, 4 cannot be here. This cell would have to be a 4. That gives you a 7 and a 4 here. You get a 4 here. That gives you a 4 here. Guys, that is awesome. You have 5, 7, 9. That is gives you a 9 here. This is also 5 and 7, and that gives you a 9 here. So this 9, you need either 12 or 14. 12 is not possible, so this would have to be 5. So that is 12, right? So the sum is 16, right? 5 plus 1, 6, 15, 18. Yeah, 18. 5 plus 1 is 6, 6 plus 9, 15, 18. So you need to have 17 here. So this is 7, that is 5. You already have a 6 here. This cannot be 7. This would have to be 5 again. That is 7 here. So you get a 2, 5 pair here. That 2, 5 pair gives you a 3 here, that we already reduced using the uniqueness trap here. So this is 3 and 7. So this is 3 and a 7 here. That 7 eliminates 7 from this cell. 4 and 6. This 5 gives you a 6 here, 5 here, 4 here, and a 6 here. That 3. That 5 gives you a 2 here, 5, 2 and a 5, 2 and a 5 here. That gives you 2 here. That gives you 5, 5, 6 and 7, right? So 1, 3 and 4, this is 1, 3 and 4. Oh, 1, 3 and 7. So this is 3 and a 7 here. That gives you a 7 here. Oh, what am I doing? Very bad concentration. 1, 3 and 6. This is 1, 6 and 3. Really very bad concentration. That gives you a 7 here. 5, 7. This gives you a 2, 3 here. 2 and 7 in any order, right? So 7 and a 2 here. That gives you 7 and a 6 here. And with that we complete this gorgeous excellent Sudoku by Richard Stolk. So I hope you got to know what are the things that you need to keep in mind while solving an equalizer Sudoku, right? Either the short bars or the opposite of the longer bars. That is the most important thing. And secondly is just eliminating the highest or the lowest possible digits from one column to see if that affects the other column. That is the most important thing again in this Sudoku while solving this variant. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So do like and comment if you want us to solve any other Sudoku variant or a puzzle genre, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.